Is that a JoJo reference? Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies. And, yeah, I'm here on my Oscars nominee movie review streak. And, I will not review The Irishman and Little Woman. So, I guess you already know what am I going to be reviewing. It is Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi. So, yeah, Jojo Rabbit is a comedy movie about Nazis. Yes, and it's about a boy named Jojo who was drafted to be a soldier, a Nazi soldier, when he was a kid, when he was around 10 years old. But he injured himself, so he couldn't be in the army, so he stayed at home. And he realized that his mom hid a Jew in the home. So he was a huge Nazi fanatic, huge fan of Hitler. And this story sort of sees Jojo and Elsa, the Jew, sort of become friends, becoming close with one another, accepting one another. And it's actually more touching than it is funny. The trailer shows that this movie is, a lot of fun. And while, yes, this movie is quite funny, there are a lot of moments in this movie that actually made me laugh. But this movie is actually more touching, more emotional, more heartfelt than it is funny, actually. And I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, the characters are really, really lovable, and the child actors in this movie are actually not bad. We actually have this side character who is Jojo's friend called Yorkie, and he's hilarious. He says all these lines that just cracks me up. We have Captain K, played by Sam Rockwell, who is supposed to be the big teacher of like a bunch of 10-year-old soldier boys, and he's hilarious as well. And by the end of the movie, when you see his true nature, it's actually really touching. And we also see Scarlett Johansson as Jojo's mom, and she's funny. She wants to give Jojo a really bright and happy childhood without forcing ideas onto him, and she's amazing as well. So we have these amazing characters, but we also have some really smart moments in the movie because throughout the entire movie, Taika Waititi managed to make shoes a theme in the movie. In the beginning, Jojo doesn't know how to tie his shoelaces, so Scarlett Johansson, as his mom, helps him to tie up. But later on, he sort of grows up and he starts to learn how to be independent, and he starts to tie the shoelaces himself. And we also get to see other people's shoes, and there are a few scenes in this movie where a specific incident happen with shoes, and sometimes it can be a happy thing, sometimes it can be a sad thing. Yep, I know it sounds vague, but I'm just trying not to spoil anything. And yeah, there are a few flaws in this movie too. Of course, this movie is not perfect. First of all, there are a few moments in this movie that feels like a derivative of Wes Anderson's style, which is a critique that a lot of critics have. But in my opinion, I don't think this movie is all that similar to Wes Anderson's movies that much. I mean, there are a few scenes in this movie, a few shots where everything's sort of symmetrical and deadpan. And yes, it reminds me a little bit of Moonrise Kingdom. I know that, but still, this movie is definitely not as eccentric or as idiosyncratic as Wes Anderson's directing style. But I guess my biggest gripe with the movie is that there are a few plot holes. Well, not necessarily plot holes, but more like plot jumps, where there are a few plot points in the movie that I wish I could see more of, but instead we're just given a montage. And then there are scenes in this movie where I feel like I've seen enough of, but we're just not we just get a bunch of scenes that that really give the same idea. But still, I think it is a really wholesome and heartfelt movie. Also, I forgot to mention that Taika Waititi is in the movie and he plays an imaginary friend of Jojo's who is Hitler, but not the real Hitler, of course, but Hitler according to Jojo, according to who Jojo thinks he is because of all the propaganda and all the rumors. And Taika Waititi is hilarious as Hitler. Yes. But what I find brilliant about the Elsa the Jew and Hitler, imaginary Hitler, and Jojo sort of in between is that Jojo throughout the entire movie he has this struggle of, hey, should I believe in what all my friends and what all the adults say about Jews, or should I believe in my guts and believe that Jews are humans too, and they're nice and they have emotions and feelings too. Like, what should I believe? Should I believe in the ideology, or should I believe in the reality? And that struggle sort of happens and remains throughout the entire movie, and it is a really good theme being explored, and it can also be applied in the modern society now as well, kinda, but of course not as extreme as the past. But yeah, overall, I enjoy this movie a lot. And lately, I have seen a lot of movies where after the movie, I just feel, left hollow, left scared, confused, like after watching The Lighthouse or Parasite, where I'm like, oh my gosh, this movie is crazy, it's messed up, and it leaves you in a bitter taste in a good way. But this movie gives me a different taste. It's a very sweet, very wholesome, very heartwarming, and lovely and bright, and I really yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. So yeah, I'm saying that this movie is a movie worth watching, and I am giving it a light to decent 8 out of 10. Yay. Um, so, have you seen Jojo Rabbit from 1 to 10? How much you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.